Yes, children. So we understood that the trade was a main channel to connect the distant countries before to MNCs. But once the MNCs came to existence, see, Indian economy before and after the globalization. Let us just recall once how it was earlier, and after that, after the introduction of globalization, what happened to our country. See, after independence, India practiced the policy of self-reliant or import substitution, which means, because as we seen, the British came to India with the name of trade, and what and all the issues which happened in our country. So with that problem, India started to become, after once India got independence. So the people or the leaders started to think to be a self-reliant or self-dependent. So instead of having so much of the international trade, let us be self-dependent. That is, whatever the products which we need, we can just produce within our country, and we can just substitute, or we can just stop the import activities. Okay. See, children. So that is the reason, the first thing, heavy reliance on public sector. That means we started to believe or depend more on public sector companies. And then restriction on foreign investment. We started to stop the foreign investments in our country. And then centralized planning. That means the maximum planning used to be done by the government. And then regulate, develop and protect the private sector. So the private sectors which was already existed in our country, we started to develop those, the private sectors. So it's all because of, yes, so which happened, we were the colony, India was a colony for British people. So with that all activities, by seeing that, the Indians, we started to feel to be a self-reliant. Okay. But do you think it will be possible in a country, children? So once we got independence, India was not good in economic situations also. We were facing even few, the economic problems were also faced by India. So that time, it was very difficult for us to be a self-dependent or self-reliant for the production of, as we know, the population in India is quite more. So to provide the basic facilities for the whole population was very difficult to the government. So that is the problem. Whatever the problem, the earlier to the globalization and the after the globalization, what are the things which happens, we'll see here. But unfortunately, this policy couldn't serve the purpose and resulted into increased poverty, high rate of inflation, mounting fiscal deficit, unemployment, the deficient infrastructure. So here what happened, we started to feel to be a self-reliant or the self-dependent, and we started to stop this, the import activities, whatever which we were importing from the other countries. So that time what happened, whatever the policies which we made, it was not successful because it was not, unfortunately, that policy was not successful and it didn't serve the people. But it started to give some problems to the country only. It started to increase the poverty. As we know, poverty is one of the major challenge which we are facing in our country. And as we know, the unemployment is a major problem we are facing in our country. And then high rate of inflation. That means the products, the cost of the products also started to increase, the purchasing, power to the people started to reduce. Okay. Deficient infrastructure, whatever the necessary infrastructure for the country, it was not, it may be for the, the good buildings, railways, roads, even that infrastructure facilities were also not there. Okay. So that is what finally this policies resulted. So to overcome these problems, see, so India searched for other option for economic openness and integration between Indian economy and the global economy. So once India started to face all these problems, India started to feel, or India started to search some options to become a, even the economic growth. or how they can be bring the integration between India and other global economy. How can we also improve the economic status of the country? So there they started to do that integration between Indian economy and the global economy. Okay, to overcome with these problems, they started with this integration. Okay, and then see, and finally with new economic policy of 1991, it is very much important, children. New economic policy of 1991 under the guidance of Dr. Manmohan Singh. He was the Prime Minister of India that time. Okay, under the guidance of Dr. Manmohan Singh, the Finance Minister of India. Sorry, children, he was a Finance Minister. Finance Minister of India. India opened its gates to welcome various MNCs for trade within Indian market. So earlier we started to depend on the public sector industries of our country. But later, with the integration of Indian economy with the global economy, we started to welcome the MNCs to our Indian market. Okay. Yes, children. See, today we use a variety of goods and services present in the market, by various brands and the manufacturers. Some of these companies are Indian and many of them are MNCs. So in today, whatever the products which we are getting in the market, so if we just go out and if we just started to purchase the goods, n number of brands we'll be getting, n number of variety of the goods and services which we are getting. But those goods, do you think all are made in India? No, children. So the few, only the few products that is owned by the Indians, that is the Indian companies, and the rest, all the other companies are MNCs, that is multinational companies. So what do you mean by multinational companies, children? See here. What are MNCs? So MNC stands for multinational companies or multinational corporations. Okay. A MNC can simply be understood as a company that owns and controls production in more than one nation, more than one country. A particular company is, activating, that is, owns and controls the productional activities in more than one country. Then it will be considered as a multinational corporation or multinational company. Okay. Yes, children. These companies set up their offices and factories for production in the regions where they can get cheap labor and other resources to reduce their cost of production and earn greater profits. So as we know, the main motto to start up a company or a business, what's the main motto, children? Public sector industries means it will be a service motto. But coming to the private sector or coming to the MNCs, the main motto of, the setting up of an industry or a company or a business, the main motto is to get the profit. Okay. So that is the reason they will be starting their factories of production in the regions where they will be getting the cheap labor. That means where the people are, more in the need of demand of jobs. There they will be, starting up their factories. Along with that, where the resources are available more. So where the resources are available more, there only the MNCs used to set up their factories for the production. So that time what happens, children? The cost of production will be low because the cost of the labor is less, cost of resources is less, then of course the cost of production will be low only. So that is the reason what happened. They can sell the products for the higher prices and they can make more profit. Okay. Yes. See. The money spent by MNCs for purchase of land, building, machinery, etc. in a country is called investment. So if a multinational company is investing or putting some money on the purchase of assets like, it may be like a land, it may be like a building or the machinery. These are all what kind of, the assets, children? Yes, it is a fixed asset. Okay. So this kind of things will be called as a investment. So for the nation, it's regarded as foreign investment. For example, in India, some multinational company, some other country's company is investing here to purchase land, building and the machinery. For them, it is just an investment. For us, it is a foreign investment. Some foreigners, some other country people are investing in India. That will be called as foreign investment or foreign direct investment. Okay. Yes. So, foreign direct investment, what are the pros and cons? That is the advantages and disadvantages you should know generally. Okay. It's not there in your textbook, children. It diversifies investors' the portfolios, promotes stable long-term lending, provides financing to the developing countries, provides technology to the developing countries. So what happens in a country, in a developing country, what happens? They'll not be good in all many, the things. It may be like a technology, or it may be with the, the finance and some, the long-term lending, that is the money lending to the people. But what are the, simultaneously there are some problems also. What are the problems they'll be facing, children? Sometimes unethical, the access with the local markets will be there, or the local resources they'll be taking away, or the investors may have less moral, they'll not be having the moral ethnicity will not be there, ethically, they'll not be good, and it will not be suitable for strategical important industries. Some, the strategical industries, they'll not be giving importance. Whatever the profit-making companies or the industries only, they may give importance, not for others. Okay. Yes. See, these are all the examples of some popular MNCs which are operating in our country. Okay. Yes. See, MNC is not only selling its finished products globally, but more important, the goods and services are produced globally. Guys, you have to understand, MNCs is not a trade. They are not just a buying and selling of the goods and services. They are producing the goods and services globally. Okay, that you have to understand. As a result, production is organized in increasingly complex ways. So as we understand what happened, where the resources are available cheaper, there only they are setting up the factories and they are producing the products just to have a more profit. Okay. Yes. The production process is divided into small parts and spread across, spread out across the globe. So where they'll be getting more profit, there they'll be producing the products, because the cost of production will be less, because the labor cost will be less, resources availability will be more, and it will be cheaper. Okay, they'll be setting up the small plants or the parts, and they'll be producing the products across the globe, across the world. See, India has highly skilled engineers who can understand the technical aspects of production. It also has educated English speaking youth who can provide customer care services, and all this probably can mean around 50 to 60% cost savings for the MNCs. So guys, here we are seeing how India is, highly skilled, and we are contributing the cost savings for the India, from Indian side it is around 50 to 60% for the MNCs. But the same way, even the other countries like China and other countries also providing, where they'll be having a cheap labor facilities and availability of more resources. Okay. Yes, children, we'll go for recapitulation. Just a few questions I have given, but you have to make your own notes. Okay. What do you mean by MNC? You have to write, and then you just write what do you mean by, foreign investment, and then write the pros and cons. It's not there in your textbook, just for your reference, children, for better understanding. Okay. And then how MNCs organize production and why. Why they have small plants, that you have to explain. Okay. If any doubts, guys, let me know. I'm there to just clarify. Okay. Just try to, hereafter, you'll not be getting any direct questions. It is all about application based questions. So